And now, okay, now I've created space, a beautiful new energy to start to
Yes.
work on my goals for the new year. From
Lately, having impact on people who has impacted me. Hi, everyone. Shaelene McInnis with Books in Line. Thank you for joining our podcast again. I am very happy to have as a guest someone I've known for a very long time. Her name is Uchechi. Absolutely adore the work that she has done over the years. She's a little under the weather, so as we all get, and it's fine. But I'm glad she still agreed to be a guest here with me. So as you know, we're doing this as part of our wellness too, our Ontario Wellness Network digital magazine for free. So I'm going to ask you, Chechi, about what she does, because I know that a lot of the work she does centers around individual and group wellness, and as you know, that's a big focus for us right now. You, Chechi, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And again, excuse my voice. But yeah, I am a business strategist. I'm also an author, speaker, and publisher. And I work a lot with multi-passionate and purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And my biggest thing is to really, the biggest things that I work with them on is to really helping them gain that confidence in their gifts, right? Because I see this all the time. One of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest things that they have heart-centered
Mm-hmm.
passion in what they do, but the
Mm-hmm.
confidence is not there. So really help them tune in and really have that confidence in their gifts. And as well, the work we do is also to help them create more wealth around their work, create
Good.
more impact and freedom, because that to me it's all encompasses, right? The wealth, impact, and freedom. So
Yeah.
that way you're making a difference as you're making money as well. So
Yeah.
those are the biggest things that I do with my clients.
Yeah, there's a few things that you just said. First of all, impact. I love
Mm,
that word. I've been really listening to that word lately, having impact on people who has impacted me. I have just recently been reminded about people that I had a huge impact on years ago, and I didn't even know it. And I met up
mm,
with some very dear old friends, and I had no idea. And it's nice to be reminded that you had impact in someone else's life, but also to tell someone else, like,
yeah.
oh, you really impacted my life. I met with recently with a person who was my boss 20 plus years ago. And I'm like, do you know everything I learned from you? And I told her, and she was like, you just don't realize how much joy it brings to someone else when you do that.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
and the other thing about confidence, I know for myself, being a self-employed person, and so many of my clients are all self-employed and have their own businesses. Imposter syndrome, right? We're
Mm,
always afraid we're going to find
that's
out that
huge.
we're actually not that good.
Mm,
That's a good one. Yeah, the imposter syndrome. Yeah, I could use a whole bunch of lessons in that for everyone. Tell me, you said that you're an author. I'd like to know about your books. By the way, just so everyone here knows, anyone listening or watching, we're going to include all of the contact information for you, Chechi. I'd like to include some of the links for your book as well,
mhm.
or books as well. And then if for some reason you can't get a hold of you, Chechi, you can always call the office, Books in Line, and you're welcome to call us. We will put you in touch with you, Chechi. She happens to be someone that I've known for a very long time, and I think her work is very impactful.
Mm,
Okay,
thank
go ahead,
you.
you, Chechi. Why don't you tell me about the author part?
Yeah, so my book is From Aspirations to Fulfillment, Bridging the Gap from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. So this is one that I wrote in 2016, and it's really all about just going from, working with people and even for myself, how I went from being in that state of wanting to manifest certain goals, wanted to reach something. And we forget that there's so many different spiritual or even just tactical tools that we can use. And really, it's just breaking down that process for you. How do you go from just aspiring and desiring and wanting something to be
Yes.
in that driver's seat to achieve it?
Mhm.
So it was one that I wrote, and it was actually being carried in Indigo chapters in stores across the country. And then I got into helping other people publish their books as well, and as well
Yeah.
as other people work authoring project that my company has created all around personal and business development. So we've done a few of those, and it's just again, it's all about work around that personal development in different areas of your life. That's the key cornerstone of the work and that we do and the publishing that also I do in my company.
Good, good, good. So now I know you do some online work with some online with some coaching and group stuff. Could you talk about your online work that you're doing right now?
Yeah, so most of my clients, I mean, I'm based in Canada like you as well. I would say about 50 to 60% of my clients are international. So I do have my private coaching, which is I keep that on a small scale. But I
Hmm.
do have my online membership, my Dream Life and Business membership, which is all about tactical training. And it's almost like picture it as like the Netflix, but for business and personal development, where you get
Yes.
on-demand access. And then they also have monthly coaching calls with me where this is probably my favorite part of the month where bring me your business and
Yeah.
personal, you know, concerns that you may have. Let's tackle it. Let's break it down. Let's give you an action plan for you to move forward
Yes.
with to be able to break it down. So we have that as well. And as well as other affiliate, different online training, whether it's how to write your own book, how to
Yes.
create multiple income streams, how to create your own online training. We have different training as well that we have on our website. And I've also been like blessed with working. There's a lady, Marie Forleo. She has her program B School and Time
Hmm.
Genius. So I've been able to coach inside of her coaching community. I mean, B School alone has about more than 80,000 entrepreneurs across the world,
Right.
across different industries. So it's been really great working in that as well and helping people in different areas and helping them with their business. And as well, Time Genius is, I would say it's a productivity program, but it's beyond that. It's really about
Yes.
your time back, that freedom. As entrepreneurs, remember how we said, we had painted this picture of being an entrepreneur and that goal of what it felt like, but then it was
Yes.
the reality. It's
Yes.
helping to get that dream. And it's about how do we go through that process. So I also coach inside of her program as well. So it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different
It
phases.
can be overwhelming when you're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. It can be so overwhelming. And not only is it overwhelming, you're trying to do everything
Oh,
because especially when you first start, you don't know. No, no, just do what you do best and
exactly.
other people will help you. And I
Crawl,
always
walk,
say to
run.
people, yeah, yeah, yeah. I always say to people, make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people. Surround
Mhm.
yourself with people who want to help, want to raise you up, not take advantage, but who want you to do well. Right. That's my biggest thing. It's one of my
Huge.
pet things. But now what I'd like to talk about is something that I love when it comes to Uchechi. I'd like you to tell us about your dream life designer.
Planners? Yeah, so these are the planners that I created. There's about five, well, this year there's like five different versions of it. But this planner came about where, when I was working with one-on-one with my clients, I also recognize the fact that not everybody can work with a one-on-one with a coach, right? It's quite the investment, and a lot of
Yeah.
times that's beyond people's limited capabilities, which is
Yep.
100% okay. And
Yep.
so I really, again, I always say impact, impact. How can I create more impact? How can I
Yep.
help? And how can I meet people where they're at with their limitation? So this is actually one of the reasons the Dream Life Designer planners came about. And of course, I'm a planner junkie. I love planners, but I always find that there was something I would tweak. So encompassing all of that, I created using the system that I use with my coaching clients to help them get a blueprint of how to take their goals, break it down, really understand the nuances and the planning
Hmm.
that goes into what they need to do. Plus
Hmm.
the building accountability, whether it's quarterly accountability, monthly, weekly, and knowing what your goals are,
Yep.
setting the intention, all of that I infuse in my planners. And it's been widely popular with entrepreneurs. I mean,
Yes.
realtors love it. Like there's actually one
Yep.
realtor friend of mine who actually I saw on Facebook, she's like, I reached 10%. Like there was she's something like 10% or 1%, I think 10% of her brokerage or something. And I remember saying, oh my God, congratulations, that's amazing. She's like, the planner helped me get there if it wasn't for the planner.
Yep.
So, that was so great seeing that and seeing how it's helped so many people to really understand and break it down and have that accountability. So,
Yeah.
and plus, there's that built-in system. Plus, they're absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
So wanted to make sure that they had all those
Well,
all
yeah,
of that.
I absolutely love it. I've been buying these for myself and for other people because I've bought them for other people because they're so amazing. You can get a planner anywhere, let's be honest. But this planner, I buy them for myself, for clients, for family members. It's the how long have I been buying them? At
I
least
know
four
you've been, I
years.
mean, yeah, from I think I've
Four
had it for
years,
the past
five
6, yeah,
years?
at least
I
five
don't even
years. And we
know. At
so
least.
appreciate that. Like every year I can
Oh,
just count on
oh no, because I
Shailene's
love it.
orders.
I'll just show everyone. This is at the front. This is actually my favorite part because I like to do this the last 2 weeks of December. You get past Christmas, you have a few days of quiet, everything's,
Best part.
and then this is what I start. Because the first thing I start is it talks about the year in review. So when I get my next one, which I've already ordered a number of them,
Mm.
uh, I'll get my 2023 year in review, and it'll say, okay, what went really, really well? What were you happiest about achieving? And you write down everything. You just throw everything you can think about it. And then it says, what were your biggest struggles for that year? And then you're like, okay. And I like the reflection part, because for me, history repeats itself, right? That's why I'm like, if I can reflect on what could I have done better, and then because now I will be planning for 2024. Where would I like to improve a bit from 2023? And listen, we've all been through COVID, so we've all been through huge shifts in so many ways, socially, mentally, physically, spiritually. So there's been a lot of, for me at least, needed reflection on what went well, what came as a surprise. For example, for us, for 2020, we were able to, I think this word's overused, but I own an accounting and bookkeeping business, and all of my clients are self-employed. So we had to pivot very quickly so I could get all of my employees suddenly working from home, starting up new Facebook pages, just advising everyone, including our clients, on what there was available to help with benefits, student benefits, seniors benefits, CERB, SEBA. So that was one of the things for me that went well, which I was surprised we were able to do that. But I like the review area, because it's like, where could you have improved? And you have to really think about it. And I was like, yeah, there's always room for improvement. I like it because you really think about it.
Yeah, and there's really deliberate, because here's the thing, if you don't give yourself time to reflect and extract the lessons,
Yes.
you're going to be given the lessons again. And so this is
Yes.
why I did it, why I always say it's no shame or blame, it's just awareness, because without awareness, you're not going
Yes.
to be able to move into it, because most people goal setting, boom, they jump in, what do I want for the new year?
Yeah.
But you're going from the same person that you were. Why
Yeah.
do you think you're going to have a different result? So
Yeah.
when
You
you
need
do
to
that
reflect.
reflection, then you can
Yeah.
let it go. And that's where, right before we get into the new year, there's that affirmation. I let go all that no longer serves me. And I
Yeah.
open my heart and my mind to the new year. So that way you've got the lessons,
Yep.
that one page,
You've accepted the lessons. And I love
yeah,
the
I'm
no
letting it
shame or
go.
blame.
Yeah,
Love the no shame or
yeah.
blame. That's a
I'm
great
gonna
line.
let it go. And now, okay, and now I've created space, a beautiful new energy to start to
Yes.
work on my goals for the new year from a place of
Mhm.
empowerment and a
Mhm.
place of awareness.
I really like that. Because for me, it made me slow down enough to reflect. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to slow down and I need to think and not feel bad about what didn't go well, but just go, okay, how could I have done things differently?
Mm.
Who could I have asked for help? I'm a big fan of Who Not How, the book Who Not How.
Mm.
People, who not how, just, who can I ask? Not
Yeah.
instead of how am I going to do it? I love the and I love the, there it is right there. See,
Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. And then I really like how, and then the goal setting, of course, the word of the year. That I'll tell everyone mine for 2022. My word, and I'm still continuing to work on it, is mindful. Just to be
Mindful.
present,
Ooh, I
be
love that.
present, be present. Not think about the past, not think about the future. Be present, be there with your kids, there with your husband, dogs, employees, work, clients, everything. Just be mindful. So that for me was a very big one. Then I love the goal setting. And then when it goes to, when you start to go into January, February, and there's always my 3 top goals for this month are, and I love a goal. I'm like, oh, what do I want for my 3 goals this month? And then, let's see, let me just turn that page. Yeah, I just like the way it's like, okay, what went well this month? Okay, well, did you achieve these goals that you wanted to? Okay, what are you going to do next? It's just, honestly, it's such an excellent planner. It's the best I've ever seen.
Thank
I've
you.
ever seen. This is why I give it as gifts to people. So if anyone's thinking of something unique that you want to give to your clients, like if you're a realtor, what a brilliant gift this is. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'm considering starting a new book club. This is something I'd like just to give as a gift to anyone who signs up for this new book club, a business book club. And but no, I think it's fantastic. It is my favorite thing to do all year. I'm such a big geek, but I love it. I'm like, I'll just take whatever color you feel like sending to me.
I know.
I don't care. Whatever your design is. I've had them all. I've had this one. I had the nice black one. They're beautiful. So I do love that. So now let me ask you something. I'm going to ask you something I'd like to ask people, because I know you coach a lot of entrepreneurs. So what would you say are the three of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make and how to avoid them? Can I say that? Like, not mistakes, or maybe mistaken ways of thinking or something
Yeah.
that you think could be adjusted to do better.
Yeah, I think if I think about some of the things I'm seeing now, like whether it's my clients or just what I'm seeing out there, and especially in the group programs that I coach inside of,
Yeah.
there's one about like really focusing on what other people are doing and trying to imitate that and not recognizing the context and what's beneath the surface. I always say this all the time where, and I had this come to me all the time. Oh my God, you have a membership. I want to launch it. And I see them doing it. Oh my goodness, I want to do a co-authoring. And they do it, not recognizing they just see the surface of what it shows, not recognizing the work, the planning, all the different wheels that are churning
so much underneath
behind it. And they go to do it. And then they get so hard on themselves that they don't have the same level of execution or results that I have, but not recognizing there is so much that you didn't even understand that goes behind it. Like I'll use the example like that membership, right? Like there's, getting clients in, giving them content, looking at churn and what's called attrition rate. How do you manage for that? How do you manage engagement within the group? But they just think, oh, I can get multiple, consistent income streams coming in month after month. I want to do that, but not realizing there's
work behind it
and how to make that work. So, and this could be for so many different things. So I definitely see that. And for that, it's really do the work, right? It's not to say you can't do it, but really look at what are the moving pieces. Because and too, like where people always think, oh, it's the social media, all that stuff. That's 20%. The mechanics, 20%. Like there's so many different things that goes beyond it. And oftentimes these are the work. It's not sexy. I get it. Like the customer clarity, digging in, really understanding, doing, the customer mining, looking in at your numbers, what's driving the penetration of your sales and sales allocation, all that stuff. It's not, they'll tell you a story and then you'll understand things even better. And then you can make better strategic decision, not just like, this is what I see people. So I see that a lot. The other thing too, kind of related to what I just talked about, is like, oh my God, I need to do this. I hear Facebook's. I need to, I hear email marketing. I mean, I always say if everything, email marketing is gold. But also too is where, one of my mentors says is where your doing is only as effective as the doing the doing. So meaning you're doing your Facebook ad, your marketing, the hustling, the networking, it's only as effective as your energy. So your energy, your consciousness, how you're showing up. Because if you do all this thing and all of a sudden you're like, I can never make this sort of money. People don't think I'm good enough. Going back to the imposter syndrome, who am I to do this? All that doing, you can work like 60 hours a week and work 5 hours, but they're showing up in a different energy. And it's that energy that is the fuel that's going to bring things of its same alignment into the environment. So they just do and not really looking at it's honestly, it is 100% who you're being. It's who you're showing up. It's your energy that's going to drive things towards you. And again, this is where how do we deal with that? Is we're recognizing, if you had the results that you wanted, how would you be? How would you feel? What energy would you show up from? And it's not like, okay, I'm a millionaire, I'm going to like spend all this money. No, it's about the energy. How are you going to show up? So somebody trolls you on Facebook. If you were the best in the world and you were amazing and you had that result, would that even faze you? Absolutely not. You would just kind of like brush it off because you were this is you. This is your energy, right?
That's right. So you didn't make me. You can't break me.
And so you show up from that. So that's the second thing. The third thing I would say, I think you mentioned this too, is like not asking for help. And I'm going to raise my hand. Totally guilty.
Too.
And I've been thinking about this so often. I actually wrote about this quite recently in my past blog posts, is where y'all, we need to remove that superwoman, superman, supermom cape. Get that crap out of our head. You're like, let's get to it. It's not serving us and it's actually quite harming us, right? Because it's thinking that we have to do everything ourselves. So start asking. I totally agree. Help. And even for me, help comes from help from other people, but also help from the invisible realm. And this, this is going to go into my other side when I talk about universal wisdom. I'm a strategic planner. We do the sales target, we do the spreadsheet, we do the sales plan, we do the marketing goal, we do all of that. Like we get tactical. But I also say to my client to say, have you stayed in silent and heard the guidance? Because as entrepreneurs and many heart-centered entrepreneurs, we start trusting other people out there and not recognizing this inner wisdom that we all have. Things may not make sense, but that inner wisdom is going to say, do this, reach out to
Right.
this person. Set my inner wisdom. There's something that I just got a gut thing on. I did it. Can I tell you, this is probably going to be at least over and above 60K to my, yes, 60K over and above what I already make, at least.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And this was something that I'm like, but I did. Right. So these are the type of things where we don't ask for that. And again, it doesn't matter like what that wisdom, call it in, source, universe, infinite intelligence, Allah, all that is my higher self.
Yep.
I call it God, but sometimes I'll be like, okay, there's a lot happening, and I'll just sit and be like, all right, I need you to clear the way. I'm feeling a little bit stuck right now. I'm feeling frustrated. There's a lot happening. All right, you're my business partner in this. I need you to clear the path, clear the way, show me what you need to do. There's a beautiful one from A Course in Miracle that says, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And I allow myself to be guided and ask for support when things aren't happening, because that invisible realm, goodness gracious, the biggest boulder that we're seeing physically gets cleared, but we have to ask.
Yeah, I think we are our biggest boulder. I think we are. And I think sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not listening to myself, and my instincts are telling me something, and I need to quiet myself down to listen to what those instincts are telling me. And I have this conversation with my daughters. They're 13 and 15. I'm like, listen to your instincts, listen to your gut. I don't care if you're 1,000% wrong, pull the fire alarm. This is what we say. If you're in a building, you think someone's following you, I don't care. I'll pay the $500, pull the fire alarm. Right or wrong doesn't matter to me. Just listen to your instincts. So I have to do it to myself. And
me too.
I mean, I'm a very practical person. I do accounting and taxes. I'm very practical, but sometimes you got to slow down and go, there's something else here that I'm not quite getting. And I love that point. For me, it's just before waking up or just before falling asleep, when you're in that stage and you come up with a brilliant idea and you're like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And it just comes to you. And it's been waiting there all day, waiting for you to be just about to be on the cusp to be asleep. And then you're like, oh, that's it.
But there's a brain-based reason for that, right? Because in that theta state, our conscious mind does not, it's closed down. And then
the chattering is
and then we can hear and pay attention, because we're in that beautiful brain state that allows us to tune in to that higher inner wisdom.
My answers all come in that state, I swear. So again, I'm going to make sure that, just so the audience knows, I will always have Uchechi's information in here. Uchechi, I want to include a link so that we can I've already ordered mine, that's okay, but this is a beautiful thing to do for yourself, but also to give as a gift. It's just so I use highlighters. I love it. So I love. I go to the dollar store and I get little stars, and I fill it up with so much stuff. But usually by the end of the year, I can't even close the book because I have things from the dollar store stuck in there. But I love this. This is one. Last year, actually, it's funny. Last year, I remember I had got one of the ones that I bought was for my sister. We actually went out for lunch and started doing this together at the table, and people are like, hey, what's that? What are you doing? We're like, just dinner, just preparing. So I highly recommend anyone who's looking for some business coaching, or to understand from where they are now to where they would like to be, or if you're interested in buying this book, everything's really linked. You're listening to this for a reason. Uchechi's a wonderful person. I've known her for many years. Where did we meet, Uchechi? Was it at Heart of Networking?
We have been Heart of Networking.
Oh, so maybe Heart of Networking.
Yeah, it was Heart of Networking.
Maybe years ago.
Or maybe there was I think Jenny there was an event though, I think. And I remember Michelle was speaking. I feel like that's the first time I met you.
That could be it. Yeah. That could be it. Oh, okay, well, great. We've known each other for years.
I know, love it. Time flies.
Thank you very much for being a guest on my podcast. You're a person that I think anyone listening to this or watching this could really benefit from getting to know. Thank you so much, Uchechi. Thanks everyone again for joining us. And maybe we'll see Uchechi in the Wellness Magazine. That would be wonderful. And she can talk a bit more of the work she does. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.